For over 3,000 years, the siege of Troy has captivated the imagination of humanity. Immortalized in Homer's Iliad, the tale of love, war, gods, and heroes is a cornerstone of Western literature. But was the siege of Troy a historical event, or is it merely a captivating myth? Today, we delve into the story of Troy. We'll explore the epic battles, unravel the intricate relationships of its legendary figures, and examine the archaeological evidence to uncover whether this timeless tale is rooted in reality. Homer's Iliad is the primary source of the Trojan War's narrative, written around the 8th century BCE, centuries after the events it describes. The story begins with a single act of betrayal. Paris, prince of Troy, abducts Helen, the queen of Sparta and wife of King Menelaus. Enraged, Menelaus enlists the aid of his brother, Agamemnon, king of Mycenae, to lead a massive Greek army to Troy. For 10 years, the Greeks lay siege to the city. Heroes like Achilles, Hector, and Odysseus clash in a brutal struggle, while the gods intervene, manipulating the fates of mortals. The conflict culminates in the Greeks' cunning use of the wooden horse to breach Troy's impenetrable walls, leading to the city's fiery destruction. It's a tale of love, vengeance, and destiny. But is it historical fact or a poetic masterpiece? The ancient city of Troy, or Wilusa as it may have been known, was situated in what is now modern-day Turkey, near the Dardanelles. During the Late Bronze Age, circa 1200 BC, this region was a crossroads of trade and cultural exchange, making it a likely target for conflict. Contemporary records, such as Hittite texts, reference a city resembling Troy, involved in disputes with nearby kingdoms. These accounts hint at a potential historical basis for the Iliad. But do they confirm a war of the scale and grandeur described by Homer? Enter Heinrich Schliemann, the 19th century archaeologist who made Troy famous again. Inspired by Homer's epics, Schliemann excavated a site near Hazarlik in Turkey, uncovering layers of ruins spanning centuries. Among these layers, one at Troy Dia stood out. Dated to around 1200 BCE, it showed signs of destruction consistent with a violent conflict. But was this the Trojan War? Scholars remain divided. While Troy Adia's destruction aligns with the timeline of the Iliad, the evidence points to a localized conflict rather than the sprawling, decade-long war described by Homer. Still, the discovery confirmed that Troy was not just a myth but a real city with a complex history. The siege of Troy as told by Homer is more than a historical account, it's a myth. In ancient Greece, myths were tools for explaining the human condition, conveying moral lessons, and reinforcing cultural values. Achilles represents the struggle between glory and mortality. Hector symbolizes loyalty and sacrifice. Helen embodies beauty's power to inspire love and destruction. The gods, ever present in the narrative, reflect humanity's attempt to understand the forces beyond their control. The Trojan War, in essence, is a reflection of human ambition, rivalry, and the cost of conflict. So, was there a real Trojan War? Most historians agree that the events described in the Iliad are likely a fusion of fact and fiction. The Late Bronze Age was a time of upheaval, with cities falling, empires collapsing, and migrations reshaping the ancient world. It's plausible that the Iliad drew from multiple events, combining them into a single, cohesive story. The wooden horse, for example, is likely a metaphor or invention rather than a historical fact. However, the idea of trickery leading to a city's downfall is universal, suggesting that this element of the story may be rooted in real tactics of war. What makes the story of Troy so enduring? It's not just the epic battles or the larger-than-life characters. Troy speaks to universal themes: the pursuit of glory, the tragedy of love and loss, the futility of war, and the enduring power of hope. For centuries, poets, playwrights, and historians have revisited the tale, each generation finding new meaning in its verses. From Virgil's Aeneid to modern films like Troy, the story continues to resonate, adapting to the cultural needs of its time. The Siege of Troy is a story that transcends time. Whether it was a historical event or a masterful myth, its legacy is undeniable. In the end, Troy reminds us of the complexities of human nature, their capacity for both greatness and folly. It's a story that invites us to explore not only the past but also ourselves. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of history's greatest tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Was Troy a myth, a reality, or something in between? Let's keep the conversation alive.